A fourth republic did not come into being by way of external pressure either or by the activism of well-intentioned foreigners. The Ghanaian people themselves, through their institutions and political parties, navigated the processes and parameters of democracy with great assiduousness. This book tells the story of how this navigation occurred and details the specific role of particular individuals, political parties, the Supreme Court, the Electoral Commission, and the security services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure to declare this book by Paul Adum Ofori formally launched. I thank you.
I think indeed we must pay compliments to what Paul Adum Ofori has done. Many of us have many experiences and all, but hardly will we have the time to put together our experiences, chronicle them in the form of a book. So indeed, this work for me is very important, very significant, and I recommend it to many people in the country.
It's important that we learn to script right for the records. And I think what our brother Paul has done is to be able to put his thoughts into writing, his recollection of history into writing, and his own opinions into writing, packaged and presented in this book. I believe, having worked with him for over 2 decades, that every element of the content of this book will stand the test of
great assiduousness. This book tells the story of how this navigation occurred and details the specific role of particular individuals, political parties, the Supreme Court, the Electoral Commission, and the security services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my great pleasure to declare this book by Paul Adum Ofori formally launched. I thank you.
I think indeed we must pay compliments to what Paul Adum Ofori has done. Many of us have many experiences and all, but hardly will we have the time to put together our experiences, chronicle them in the form of a book. So indeed, this work for me is very important, very significant, and I recommend it to many people in the country.
It's important that we learn to script right for the records. And I think what our brother Paul has done is to be able to put his thoughts into writing, his recollection of history into writing, and his own opinions into writing, packaged and presented in this book. I believe, having worked with him for over 2 decades, that every element of the content of this book will stand the test of.
You people were in charge of power from 1979 all the way to the year bloody 2000. Ghana Airways are the biggest corporate NDC under President Rawlings. With the greatest of respect to Dr. Tony Edu, you can't come and answer that question. You have to answer that question. NDC under President Rawlings is free power now. Now Ghana Airways become over $100 million. That can if you buy Tony Edu should be telling us. More guno every now no KSM say identity Ghana factories and Adani sorry NDC under President Rawlings. Young go to President Rawlings to flew Brani Musano. Why they set up diversity implementation committee and sold up in commerce factories. Factories and commerce in NDC under President Rawlings. They sold them. Due diligence ben amoya atana motonton factories. Due diligence ben and never in ya juma nya na ye de kwche obi nipa ka oye Ghana yiye kaka. Ghana and ne Burkina ye kofa ntosi ni je ne free. Burkina Faso amudo won export e bia bia ma fe ni yesu. But we shot a tampon at a Teshi shooting range. What was the sense in it? Nene ye frame medra or parliament amusu. Daughter of murder. Me, as the night for them, see in she doesn't control her father's action. She's not responsible for her father's action. It is unfair to even link her to her father's action. Ono sata manene papa ku no kana the net or saying, if you have any awono, if you be 2 years and I be 3 years and I be sir. As the net is not responsible for the papa action. But Wallace killed people. They such a campaign. What should be a more Ghana Airways and more good Ghana Airways now? Is there a justification for a champion no be operation feed yourself? A champion no be feed down suman. A champion no be Ghana ye. In fact, none of us are a bad what you may be a champion who ye can a champion quest back in the bottom. And so ye shall down my champion ye pamatadia, she jump on say champion ye far to bed you go. We now smoke pemba. Munina from more champion. Station shooting range one. The way to a nay. Omo amuti akonya so nyamu nyina mo pemma bi ba mo lebu e champion fa to beje golf ni ye shoot no pe the champion dey say nya in moja de woni mu onye nipa. So when you shoot him, which court na mo dey champion call ya properly, your man fair hearing be nasem I say a champion is guilty, court of competent jurisdiction then you dey champion call ye. So the blood of a champion is crying. And Ghana ye ni na sa mo janna ye hwebu ye Judges ye koku mo justice akodi adomo ye ku no nothing mother the betuanu for and we killed her. We killed her. This is a country that is founded on murder. A country that is founded on the blood of people. What the hell are we talking about? Nene from murder of parliament. I must say apology. Apology for the way. Apology for the way. Apology to Zeneto. I want to say apology to Zeneto. She had absolutely nothing to do with her father. But Wallace, and so President Wallace apologizes to Omwa. Emma, tema, Mamma, your woman, tema. Mammy Sekunem, ye can ye ma ye chow, my asema. Me, I was a reporter at National Reconciliation Commission. Omwa, Papa Bakuba National Reconciliation, or Bob Rollins, nobody did a minute and us. I could see a report to National Reconciliation Commission. Papa Rollins, the from Boom. When in 37, he died. He died. He just came to tell his story. He died. Jack Bigley, opened up the National Reconciliation Commission to come and testify about the people they killed. Papa Back, friend of Bombardier Kuyo, also a more water region because of him be say. Yajana Sati, Omoko, Dano, Nipa 15. This country, FRC, was founded on blood. The murder of people must have good history. This is why they own people. Yes, concept behind the rollers. So me and say history view. So that in Kolano, we will not see, we will not know the killing that was done in Ghana. We have read the issue. One chair called GSS crime this year. One chair GSS crime, we will learn. And Titonian was can the better change because he is the first person. And the rollers are we will hold him responsible. They were all there. One was so much them the entire Ghana was so good. Before 2001, 1 year before, he tried to set up Ghana International Airline. And also good. Ghana phone, we are not angry enough. If we are angry and campaign for there was absolutely no justification for the killing of a champion.
You've had 79 days in office. Why haven't you declared state of emergency?
We are treating the matter as an emergency matter. I've just told you. Now we are working on the clock 24 hours a day. The thing is that in a free society, even when there's crisis, you try to solve it without creating fear and panic. And that's what this government
But it's not a national state of emergency. I think that's the claim in September, October, which I believe you agreed with, was that state of emergency should be declared in specific areas.
I think we are.
And you agreed to that?
We are already doing it.
You have not.
Well, we have. I just told you how did we in less than a month reverse 7 red to yellow. I'm just simply telling you that we have decided that these matters are matters of grave importance, and they are matters that must be dealt with all the urgency and emergency that it deserves.
Minister, state of urgency is not an adjectival clause, it's a legal term. Yes. You know more than I do. Article 31(1).
Yes.
It talks about things like curfews, restrictions of movement.
Who has the power to declare it?
The president.
Good.
with the support of Parliament,
yes,
which you have a 2/3 majority.
This is what I know. The president is treating this matter as a top priority, but the president wants to make sure that the people of Ghana can be assured that he's on top of this.
So why has he opted not to declare the state of emergency?
I just told you, he's dealing with the issue, and we are making progress. And the people of Ghana can
that was not what you, that was not your view in opposition.
I'm just telling you what is important here. I don't know what was our view.
Well,
we told you we'll deal with the matter with all the serious.
In fact, one of your colleagues, who's now a cabinet minister, he said that Mahama needs just 5 days to deal with Galamsey. Samuel George said it. It's on air. The video is there. You've seen it. So the point about declaring state of emergency was very clear.
Well,
and
I've
you supported
just
that.
told you my strong views about this matter. This is a matter that must be dealt with as a matter that is urgent, and all the emergency measures must be put in place, and we are doing exactly
what
that.
Is the fear?
What we don't want to do is to do a 6 o'clock announcement and tell the whole Ghana that a curfew has been declared.
But there's already curfew in Boku. The country hasn't stopped running.
But there's no curfew in the whole of Ghana.
Nobody says you should turn the whole of Ghana. Because mine is not being the whole of Ghana.
There's a lot of things at play.
No, but Minister, if you can declare state of emergency in Boku, where people are fighting, and the state of emergency is solving a problem. In fact, it is reported that in some of the places, the people doing the mining and their protectors are not from Ghana. So you can say that they are attacking our sovereignty.
As the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, I can tell the people of Ghana that we are dealing with this matter with all the emergency measures, all the urgency, the seriousness. And that's what...
Excluding state of emergency.
And that they can be assured that we'll be relentless and we'll make sure that we win this fight.
The Women's Development Bank. You have put $51 million allocation, 51 million cedis, 51 million cedis allocation in this budget for the Women's Development Bank. And then you have put 70 million cedis for research at Jubilee House. You see your priorities. The budget is beginning to betray your priorities. You give all of the women in Ghana who are looking for this bank 51 million, and then you give research at the office of the president 70 million Ghana cedis. You are beginning to see your priorities. Honorable Deputy.
Hello. Tonight we observe the live tracking of flights from Honorable Intim Fojo's touchscreen. The data suggests that one of the planes mentioned by Felix Kwacho-Fosu has actually never been in Ghana. Another one, which was said by Felix to have left the country, shows on the database that it is still in Ghana. We discuss also the massive barrage of media criticism leveled against Intim Fojo, and we wonder if there has been some inducement towards creating doubts and dislike for the honorable whistleblower. Well, as the chickens are coming home to roost, it's becoming obvious that another video is required from the desk of the honorable Kwacho-Fosu, because as it is, there are more questions arising than answers. Also tonight, it looks like the Attorney General will not be in court tomorrow to argue against the injunction over the Chief Justice impeachment process. A letter intercepted by Good Evening Ghana suggests that. We will deal with that and show you the letter. And has Oliver Vomaho and his group lost the support of their political, or is it former political allies on Galamsey? Because now Professor Kobi Mensah says he has no expertise to discuss Galamsey. Professor Ranford Jampo's talk is strangely incoherent, and Joyce Bauer, the presidential staffer, says Galamsey is not about government but it's a collective effort. As social media never forgets, their past posts and videos against Akufo-Addo for Galamsey is making the rounds and is quite embarrassing. Politicians may be getting a very bad name for this unfortunate U-turn from some of our friends. We deal with all that and show you the past videos and today's comments so that you can juxtapose. Join us tonight online on Facebook and on Metro TV for a very special edition of Good Evening Ghana. Join the UNC, the party for you. Join the UNC, the party for you. Broad-based the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo.
Join the UNC, the party for you. Join the UNC, the party for you. Broad-based the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo. Broad-based the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo. Join the UNC, the party for you. Join the UNC, the party for you. Broad-based the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo. Broad-based the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo. Convention clean, pa William Echo.
So, I'm talking about the UNC today, the United National Convention. We should all join the UNC, the United National Convention. We should all join it now. What kind of a political party is United National Convention? Who were the members of the United National Convention? When I finish giving you the list, you will see that it's a party that we all have to join. So, what's the list? Justice D.F. Annan. Justice D.F. Annan, one of the noble speakers of our time, was a member of the United National Convention, beautifully. Also, Peter Ala Ajete. So you see Justice D.F. Annan, NDC. Peter Ala Ajete. Now, the guns call him Peter, so that's why I say Peter, yeah? Peter Ala Ajete. Peter was the Speaker of Parliament, one of the most powerful speakers you have had. Also is UNC. One of the longest serving foreign ministers. The only man who held the position of foreign minister and attorney general together. Who am I talking about? Dr. Obeda Samoa, UNC. Okay. One of the most fiery men in opposition. The one who broke the culture of silence. Who am I talking about? Professor Albert Edubuahi, UNC. Okay, who else? One of the most calm people in Ghanaian politics. The man with the most calm demeanor, who held the fort at the Ministry of Defense for the longest time as defense minister. Who am I talking about? Alhaji Mahama Idrisu, UNC. Who else? Okay, the man who gave birth to a son, whose son has built a church, and the church has become one of the biggest churches in the world. Yes, it's one of the biggest churches in the world. On Good Friday, they will be at Independence Square. I'm talking about the father of Doug Heward Mills. His name is Lawyer Heward Mills, UNC. Okay, so you are getting it. And then Mr. Amatefu, the guy who said Mr. No. He said no to a champon. No, 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 no. And the graphic captioned it, Mr. No, Amatefu, UNC. Our godfather David Lamte, one of the greatest politicians of all time, the biggest youth mobilizer in the history of Ghanaian politics. David Lamte, may he rest in peace. David Lamte is UNC. Also, who else? General Amankwa Afrifa, one of the bravest soldiers that we've ever had in the history of the Ghana Armed Forces. Major General Amankwa Afrifa was UNC. General Afrifa was the only person who won a seat in Ashanti in 1979 away from the Popular Front Party. General Afrifa was UNC. Sympathizers of UNC, very decent men. Pastor Otabel was a sympathizer of the UNC. Let's take the song again. 1, 2, 3,
Join
go.
the UNC, the party for you. Join the UNC, the party for you. Broad is the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo. Broad is the best, UNC all the way. Convention clean, pa William Echo.
All right. So let's get the story. Let's get the story. So now you've seen the UNC cast. This was the cast of UNC. Later on, I'll bring you the women. But that is why they said convention clean. You see, because their leader was William Ofori-Atta. Pa Willie, they call him. Oh, people are asking me that was Akufo-Addo has said so many times that because of the division in UNC and PFP in 79, he didn't join either. He said it and said, why are we still asking? Akufo-Addo says he was not part of the UNC, not because he doesn't like his uncle William Ofori-Atta or he doesn't like his mentor Victor Owusu, but he said because of the confusion in the party, he was not really at any side, because he was one half of him was Victor Owusu, another half of him was William Ofori-Atta. So Akufo-Addo is not part of the list. J. Kufuor was PFP, Popular Front Party, but these are the UNC people. UNC, very nice people. So that's why I'm urging you viewers that all of us join the UNC. The song, one more time. One, go. UNC, the party for you. Broad-based the best. UNC all the way. Convention and a clean power. William Necom. UNC all the way. Convention and a clean power. William. All right. The UNC had this man, William Ofori-Atta, as their boss. He was the leader. Now, who was William Ofori-Atta? William Ofori-Atta was a clean, squeaky clean politician. So clean, William Ofori-Atta. Now, he was also the president of the Ghana Bible Society. So he was an ardent Bible teacher. He lived in Tesano. Those who are old remember his home is still there in Tesano. And William Ofori-Atta will gather young people in the community and distribute Good News Bible to them and teach them the Bible. This is before he ran for president. He was so clean. And so if William Ofori-Atta had been elected, he would have been the cleanest president that we've had. So clean. Unlike William Ofori-Atta is clean, unlike you. William Ofori-Atta is cleaner than you. All right, one more song. I just missed the UNC songs, so tonight just to ginger you up for what we have in store on Good Evening Ghana is going to be a mighty blast. Just to ginger you, let's do one more song for Pa Willie, for David Lamte, for Pa Willie, for David Lamte, for Heward Mills, for Professor Dubois, for Alhaji Mama Idrisu, for Dr. Obeda Samoa, for Justice D.F. Fanan, for Peter Alajete. Let's go.
Broad is the best. UNC all the way. Convention a clean. Join the UNC, the party for you. Join the UNC, the party for you. Broad is the best. UNC all the way. Convention a clean.
I forgot one person. Samuel Okujeto. The old man Samuel Okujeto was a big member of the UNC. He was a UNC member of parliament for where Ablakwa is member of parliament today. That's where Samuel Okujeto was. He was a member of parliament for the UNC in Northtown. Yes, Northtown. So Samuel Okujeto is also part of the squad of UNC who had the cleanest leader in William Ofori-Atta. Good evening and welcome to this edition. Yeah.
Now you be Oga. Oh, good evening. Now you be Oga. Good evening. Now you be Oga.
All right, tonight we have a mighty blast, but I have to start with a story. Last Saturday, I had a very unpleasant experience. Typically, I shouldn't be sharing it, but because it has to do with Good Evening Ghana, I'm going to share it to you. This is the Kumasi International Airport, Prempeh the First International Airport, and I happened to be there on Saturday. So I had gone for a funeral and in the Bono-Ahafo areas, and we're coming back so through Kumasi, and then I got there to get a flight on Africa World, one of the hard-working domestic carriers. And so as I got into the airport, and I know there are a few people there, once people started coming around, we were talking. There was one very senior member of parliament over there. So we were talking, and then there was another important NDC appointee who was also there. So the conversation was naturally politics. And then a man walks in whom I don't know. Now I know, I've been told who he is, but I don't know him. So he came and they were talking, and he said, he shook hands with the MP and then the NDC appointee. And then he said, pointing to me, as for this guy, we should beat him. I said, hey, who's this? He said, we should beat you. And I said, well, who are you going to beat? Beat for what? So I thought he was joking. I said, oh, who are you going to beat somebody for what? He said, you think that, who do you think you are? If this is Nigeria, you can, NDC is in power and you are still on TV. You're a foolish boy. We will beat you, beat your children. That's your mother at Makola. I know the shop. I'll go and slap her. I said, who is this? Everybody was beckoning me, don't mind him, don't mind him, don't mind him, don't mind him. So it was going on. We'll beat you. So the member of parliament took him away. I said, let's go. Oh, he won't go. He was beckoning towards me. We'll see, we'll slap you. You can be on TV and be talking foolish. You think that if this is Nigeria, you think you'll be alive and be on TV and be talking nonsense? Anyway, so this is the photograph that we got of him. This is the guy. Look at him. This is him. This is the guy. The investigations, our investigations turn out that he's called Nana Poku and he's a presidential staffer. You know, let me show you the other photographs of him. So this is him when he arrived, with his back to me after he had made the initial comments of I'll beat you, I'll beat you. This is the NDC appointee that I don't want to show you. And then this is the hand that is holding his hand is the member of parliament who was trying to calm him down. And then eventually the member of parliament tried to drive him out. And this is him still looking at me and still shouting, we'll beat you, we'll beat your mother. You have an auntie in a doom market. I'll go and slap her. And he was talking, we'll beat your children. I said, everybody was beckoning, we don't mind him, don't mind. Look at his face. Put his face, please, put his face on, let them see. Apparently it's called Nana Poku. He's a presidential staffer at Jubilee House. I don't know what has become of these people. You think if this is Nigeria, you'll be here. I don't know I don't know whether they've gone to Nigeria to live there. But this is him. Presidential staffer will beat your mother, will beat you. This is the guy. So we took the photographs of him very quickly. Everybody was looking at him. And so I got to know that he must be a very important person, because when the plane arrived, this aircraft that brought us to Accra included, had the Ashanti regional minister on board. It had this very senior NDC person on board. But then there was a fleet of cars when we got down that came to pick him up. So that made me know that he must be a very important person. So during the interaction, then I said something about everything you are doing will be reported. Oh, okay. You can't, even Julius Debra cannot do anything to me. Then when he mentioned Julius Debra, then I knew that maybe he has some connection with the chief of staff. You can go and report. Julius Debra cannot do anything. We run the Jubilee House. We are the engine of Jubilee House. So when he came out as a presidential staff, I wasn't surprised. These are the things he was saying. You beat me, you beat my mother, you beat my children. This guy, 3 months in Jubilee House. I don't know what he was doing. This is called Nana Poku. I don't know what he was doing before he became presidential staffer in January. I don't know what he was doing. But this is him. Say, if NDC is in power and you are still on TV. If this is Nigeria, you think you say NDC is in power, so somebody shouldn't be on TV. When MPP was in power, those who ran a narrative against MPP, were they not on TV? Are they still not on TV? What is wrong with these people? How does power get into their head? And this is presidential staffer of that high rank. And when we arrived, the Ashanti regional minister didn't get picked up. This very senior NDC person didn't get picked up. They all came around the conveyor belt and we continued chatting and we picked up. But he got picked up by a fleet of cars. So then I knew that he's something. Nana Poku is his name. As we put them, we have reported this, of course. We've certainly, it's a major threat, so we've reported it to the authorities. And during the conversation, they said that this guy is Nana Poku.
They said a few things about him this afternoon when I went to make the report, but that one I won't say it. And I'm hoping that the investigations will be conducted thoroughly. And I'll report to you viewers what they say. But this is the guy, Nana Poku, I'll beat you, I'll beat your mother. Mother? Are you really serious? What is wrong? And then he starts, nobody can, we are the engine. He said he's the engine of Jubilee House. He said, Nana Poku, he's the engine of Jubilee House. That Julius Debra cannot do, if I think I'm going to report to Julius Debra cannot do anything to him. But, I mean, when I saw the fleet of cars that picked him from the tarmac, and the Ashanti Regional Minister was not picked up that way, and the very senior government appointee was not picked up that way, then I suspected, hey, then the guy is some very big man. So when when I went this afternoon to report by lawyers, and then they looked and said, oh, this is Nana Poku. I said, they said, he's a presidential staffer or something like that. He's in the Jubilee House. That is him. This is when he was being led away. And he was still looking at me. He saw that I was photographing. He was still looking at me. And menacingly, the guy was taking him away. That it's okay, go out. He won't go away. We'll beat your children. We'll beat your mother. I mean, really? Is that what this country has become? Akufo-Addo was president over there. People were talking about him every day on morning show. Every day. Did any NPP person see and say, we'll beat your mother, we'll beat you? And I mean, the NDC people that were there, I thought they were more senior to him. But when the car came to pick him up, a fleet of cars came to pick him from an Africa World, Accra Kumasi plane. He can't go to the conveyor belt to take his bag like the Ashanti Regional Minister was doing. So when we were walking up, I got to the conversation with the Ashanti Regional Minister, and I was whispering to him, I was telling him that those seats that his people cannot get, he should support some of us who are his Ashanti relatives to get it. Then he laughed. He said, Paul Adumoche, what seat are you looking for? I said, no, I'm not looking for any seat. He said, no, tell me. I said, no, I'm not looking for any seat. I'm just saying that some of the seats, your people can't get it, so you have to support us. And we joked about it. And he said, who told you we can't get it? We have moved from 34%. Next time we are getting 50 in Ashanti. And then we all laughed it off. These are reasonable. This is Ashanti Regional Minister, one of the most popular ministers of John Mahama so far. He didn't go, a fleet of cars didn't come and pick him. This guy, this Nana Poku guy, who has such misbehavior tendencies, rather had a fleet of cars that came to pick him up. The Ashanti Regional Minister went there and took his luggage with us. The senior NDC appointee went there and took his luggage with us. There was another NDC appointee whom I don't know, but I could see that because of the pageantry around him, I could see he's an important person. And then they all left. But he was picked up with a fleet of cars. And this is the guy who is telling me, if you are in Nigeria, NDC cannot be empowering you on TV and that. He said he's the engine of Jubilee House. I don't know whether Jubilee House is now an automobile that has an engine and it has tire and it has bonnet. And he said he's the engine, bragging loudly, I'm the engine of Jubilee House. This guy, Nana Poku, this is him. Look at him. I wonder what he has done with his life before. I don't know him, but I wonder. But if you've done something with your life, you won't see a news reporter and be threatening him that if NDC is in power, you cannot be until he will beat you. Beat in 2025. His response to criticism of the NDC on television is to beat, and not just you, but your mother. Because he says he knows where my mother's shop is. My mother's shop has been in Makola for the last 45 years. Everybody knows that. So it's easy for people to know that. And my mother talks about me every day. So it's easy. Then we'll go and beat her up. I mean, how? He said, do you know how many policemen I can bring to your house? Either your house attention, I'll bring policemen. I said, hey. Everybody was looking at me and beckoning me, don't mind him, don't mind him, don't mind him, don't mind everybody, don't mind him. This member of parliament was drawing, very senior member of parliament was drawing him away. That though it's okay, he won't listen. He will beat. Anyway, I don't know why people do that. But I don't think that Julius Debra and John Mahama think like that. They are seasoned politicians, and I really hope that every political party can have some of these people. I really hope that they can do something about people like that. I was going to use a word for him, but I won't because it's okay. I wrote my statement. They are dealing with it. They will look at it. I really hope that people like that are spoken with. They are spoken with. That you can't do that. You are a presidential staffer of the office of the president. You meet a journalist at the airport and you say, I'll beat you. I will beat your mother. And I'm the engine of Jubilee House. I can bring policemen to your house. Julius Debra cannot do anything. You can go and report to Julius Debra. He can't do anything. This guy can talk like that. But when I saw the fleet of cars that came to pick him from the tarmac without the Ashanti Regional Minister, who is a senior member of the government, I knew that maybe some very, very important person. Uncle Julius and President Mahama, Good evening. Okay, so give them the montage. The montage for Julius Deborah and President John Dramani Mahama. The NDC montage. Let's give it to them.
Arise for Ghana, oppression of the land, forward and seek your future, development our goal, from vision to victory, the NDC shall lead, able democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity, from vision to victory, the NDC shall lead, stable democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity.
Well. Okay, so a few people have been asking me questions about our videos on Monday that popped up. What we've been trying to do just to keep up with the news is that when news breaks at the weekend, we get into the studio and do a recording of it, and then Monday morning we show it. We, among ourselves, we call it the first word for the week. So whenever we have news that breaks, we are considering introducing a Sunday night show, maybe online only. My boss at Metro TV is urging me to, my boss is called Klaus von Bakustein. He's urging me to put up another show in Akan. You know, we're talking about Good Evening Ghana Tree for a long time. But the work is so plenty. Currently, we are working on a super documentary for the 100 days of John Dramani Mahama. It's looking so beautiful already. And I get very excited when all of these young people... I got a very call from a very senior journalist and was asking me about one of the young people he had done a presentation with. And he said to me that the guy is good. I said, oh, wow. I get very excited when I see that the work of all of these young people is being recognized. So we are working on that documentary. It's going to be very, very good. It's going to be released on the 100 days of John Dramani Mahama. We've captured everything. So somebody among the team was detailed to capture day by day by day by day. And every week he was reporting to another person that this is what we have this week. And then we are now categorizing it into governance, legal and justice, political, parliament, and then international. We are putting all that together in different segments. Hopefully we can give you a real solid product when the time comes. But so as part of First Word of the Week, we were informed that the home of the former Vice President, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, the home of the former Vice President's ADC, his AD camp, had been raided. And so we put up a video that is doing amazingly well on social media. We are not sure how to interpret the significant number of views that this video has had. We don't know whether we should think that people like it or people don't like it, but we're always concerned about our older viewers who are not on social media, and so we'll bring back the video. Later tonight, we'll show you in Team Fojo's analysis again, and then I have something to say about Felix Kwachio Fosu. And just as we're coming into the studio, we have received the affidavit in opposition filed by the Learned Attorney General ahead of tomorrow's case at the Supreme Court. We're going to deal with that. The Attorney General has filed his affidavit in opposition. Why is he opposed to an injunction which is to be argued tomorrow? We're not sure yet whether he's going to come. We'll share that information with you because a letter popped up today which we intercepted. We have it that suggests that the Attorney General may not be in court tomorrow. But just as we're coming into the studio, we got another document that the Attorney General has filed his affidavit in opposition. We'll share that with you. That's going to be a bit legalistic, but we'll break it down so all of us can share in it. So now let's get back the video of the raid that occurred in the ADC of Dr. Bawumia's house. It's about 10 minutes. Let's look at that. When we come back, we are getting into the aircraft issues, and then we have political TikTok. Did you hear Mutala argue about Russia-Ukraine war and all of that? We have some information on that. And then Kobe Benson was in Adom FM studio, said something about Galamsey runs for Jampo. We're going to deal with everything that we said in the promo, for those of you who have seen the promo here or on social media. Let's look at the information about how the Vice President's ADC's house was raided by police from military detachment from national security. They were looking for arms, they were looking for cash, in the ADC's house, the vice president's, former vice president's ADC. Here is our account of it. So this is Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia. Doc, good evening, and how are you doing? We are sorry about the raid on your ADC's house. Well, so the breaking story is that yesterday, national security officials raided the home, not of Dr. Bawumia, but of Dr. Bawumia's ADC. You know, ADC is a French term that means aide de camp. High-profile officials like President and Vice President, the Inspector General of Police, and the Chief of Defense Staff. They have is a military. The military officer is a police officer. Usually for the President and Vice President, the police officer for the Vice President and the military officer for the President. They have these senior military officers who follow them. They call them aide de camp. So Dr. Bawumia as Vice President has an ADC. The Vice President today, Professor Jenano Poko-Ajiman, has an ADC. Now, this is Dr. Bawumia's ADC. I think the last time we saw him probably in public would be the sessional address of the President Akufo-Addo. Now, in that video, you see this is Muhammadu Bawumia. This is Alban Bagmin to his right. You will see there he is, a police officer. He'll come again. The Lord Chief Justice, other people. This is as Dr. Bawumia arrived in Parliament for the sessional address with his wife, Second Lady Samira. Now, the ADC is the one, yeah, there he is. This is the ADC of Dr. Bawumia performing his official functions during the last sessional address. Now, this man, his home has been raided. He is a sitting police officer, a serving police officer, is an ASP. His home has been raided by national security on account of the fact that they were looking for something that they said or they thought or they believed that Dr. Bawumia had given him to hide. This is the story that we have to confront this morning in Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana. The former vice president's AD camp, his home was raided by national security people because they said they were looking for something that they said Dr. Bawumia gave him. They were looking for money or they were looking for something. So here's a video of how the raid occurred, captured by the CCTV in his home, in the home of Dr. Bawumia's ADC. I think that his family is completely traumatized. His crime is that he's ADC to Dr. Bawumia. So there you see the soldiers approaching his home. Very similar style to what we've seen in the Ofori-Atta and others. There you see them. Here are 1, 2, 3, 4 soldiers in front of his gates. The other one is going to call another one. You will see more soldiers approach. This is not very, very good. Now, this man here in the white smoke appears to be their leader. Now, he is not in military uniform, but there he's sort of giving the final instructions to them. And they have been told now, it appears from the video, to destroy the gate so that they can enter. This is the home of a serving police officer who now they are wearing their gloves ready for action, fully armed. They are holding guns. Everyone is holding guns. Somebody is filming. You can see the one in black trying to film. That's the one running around just filming what is happening. And then they are breaking the door. They are trying to break the door. They are going into a police officer's home, which is, I guess, is a government place. The government know he lives there. Finally, they break in, and they are going to continue. Yes, so there they go. They go in a pair. The pair go in first. The other ones come in. Now everybody rushes in. They are raiding the home of a serving police officer, an ASP, who is Dr. Bawumia's AD camp. Now this is the one who was filming. I think that looks like a lady. Is it a lady? Okay, now some instructions are being given. They are told to rush in, hurry up. They are going in very, very quickly. We don't know whether the white speaker parked there is part of. Now this guy comes in. He's holding a gun, a very long gun. He comes in. Oh, the sheep were worried. You see, look on the top of your TV. You see the sheep were worried, and they were all coming to look at it. Now this is what has happened. This is what has happened, viewers. This is what has happened. This is what has happened in the ADC of Dr. Bawumia's home. Now, they said they were looking for money or something. So these are the photographs of what happened. So this is the door. Let me show them the door. Let's start one after the other. This is one of the rooms that was completely ransacked by the security authorities when they went there. They went to the policeman's house. I think he wasn't at home. And they entered, broke the door, and they ransacked completely. Let's see whether there are more photographs. Now, this is a broken door. This door, they completely smashed. I hope it wasn't broken by gunshots, but I don't know how it was broken. This is the door of the ADC to Dr. Bawumia's house. Yesterday, they raided completely his home. Absolutely. They said they are looking for money or they are looking for something that he has hidden for the vice president, the former vice president. They are looking for something that he's keeping for the former vice president, something illegal, something contraband. They didn't find anything, but this is what they left. in the wake of the attack, if you like, in the wake of the raid. We saw this happen before. We are aware, as we speak to you this morning, that a very senior government official, very high-profile government official, member of cabinet, has called Dr. Bawumia to apologize for this. We'll release that information later because we are trying to get the words with which he rendered the apology. This is unbecoming. This is dastardly. This is not constitutional. This is not human rights. This is not Ghana. Fourth Republican Ghana. This is not Ghana. So see what happened. Now, this is not a civilian who is running away. This is a serving police officer who works under the authority of the Inspector General of Police. Can you show me the next photograph, please? He works under the Inspector General of Police. That's his job. He is a serving police officer. The Inspector General of Police can call him at any time and say, look, ASP, come to my office. The security people need to search your house. Look at it. Look at what they did. They smashed the doors. They broke everything because he is Dr. Bawumia's ADC. Look at another room. They went into another room. I'm guessing this is his bedroom because I can see some police uniforms. And they opened up everything and tore it apart and just smashed everything, broke it away. They didn't find what they thought they were looking for. They went into his, I believe this is his, where he keeps his clothes. I don't know how they call it. They have a name for it. I've forgotten. Is it, they call it closet or something like that? Yes. Where he keeps his clothes. This looks like this is it. I mean, this is serious. Now, this is the most important part. So this appears to be the center of his CCTV camera. The CCTV camera that captured the thing. This appears to be the center. And this is how they left it. They tore it into pieces. I don't know why they always want to tamper with it. There's a photograph of their leader talking to one of the policemen. When we're looking at it, everyone was asking that, who is the leader? But it's very difficult to tell because, you know, his head is bowed. People said it's Richard Jakpa. I'm not sure whether this is Richard Jakpa. This figure looks taller and a little bit bigger. But he's similarly dressed. But this is the National Security Squad with military people who go into a serving policeman's office, a serving policeman's home. Show them the raid of the video again. As they arrive there, you know, they go to the policeman's home and they are raiding. This is a serving police officer. This is not somebody who can run away. He goes to work every day. He's an ASP. He works for Dr. Bawumia, but he reports to the IGP, is his boss. In fact, the IGP is not his immediate boss. As an ASP, he may have a boss who is an ACP. You can always find him. You can always tell him that he should stay out of his house and be checked, because this is a person who responds to Commander-in-Chief. He's not a civilian living in Pokwasi or living in Nungwa or something like that who can say that it's my private property. This man is not private. He's a police officer. And they wanted to raid his house because they said he is keeping money there for Dr. Bawumia and he's keeping something for Dr. Bawumia. And they're always looking for something sensational. They want to publish a story and say that raid in Dr. Bawumia's ADC's house saw 5,000 cedis or something like that. I mean, this is not right. This cannot be right. Can never be right anywhere. This is a democracy that has parliament. It has a judiciary. It has courts. It now even has special courts for gold board. If you steal gold boards, Sami Jemfi can take you to a special court. And they have created a special court, or they're about to create it. So we can create so many things in this constitutional democracy just to safeguard the rights of Ghanaians. This is an election that has been won by the NDC. It's not a coup d'etat. It's not a 31st December coup d'etat. It wasn't, NDC didn't come to power by a dawn broadcast. They came to power by being elected and have the electoral commissioner pronounce the verdict of the election. This is what has happened in Ghana. It's not a coup d'etat. It's not a kangaroo state. It's not a dastardly Gestapo state. What is this? What is this? Well. What shall we do about these things? What shall we do? This is what has happened in Ghana. So, viewers, I leave this photograph with you to look closely at the individuals and tell us if you know them. But the official story breaking now is that the ADC of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's home has been raided on account of the fact that he is ADC to the former vice president, and they alleged that perhaps the former vice president has stolen cash, money, from Bank of Ghana, and he has kept it in his ADC's house because they think that people will not know. And so they are going to the ADC's house, and that's where Dr. Bawumia has kept their money. And they went to the ADC's house. There was no money there. They ransacked his house. I don't know whether he has family, it looks like there was nobody in the house. They broke the door. This ASP is a policeman. You can call him and say, hey, come here. Go take us to your house and open. We are going to catch you for the things you've stolen. They didn't do any of those. They went in this dastardly manner and raided the house. Tell us what you think on our Facebook page.
Text message, please. Thank you for staying with us. More stories coming up. Now we're going to go on to the plane. The plane. How many planes? Plane. What happened at the airport? Did they come in? Who gave them permits, etc., etc. We're going to do the flight tracking, the video that some of you may have already seen. But let's go to text messages now and find out what people are thinking about what we have been saying so far. It's 4 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. This is Good Evening Ghana and it's live. Shall I start with Antoinette? What did you say? Anziba first. Anziba.
Paul, our first message is coming from Atta Eduse, and he says, is it now true that Muhammad's tenure is about to end due to the atrocities of his appointees? From Balthazar, he says, there was lawlessness under Akufo-Addo, but to be raiding people's houses is too much. EB Affairs says, couldn't the IGP invite the ADC of His Excellency Dr. Baumia to assist with any investigation? I am disappointed in IGP Yehuno, bad start. From EB Affair again, he says the leader is lawless. Richard Jakpa, the smoke makes him look bigger in stature. From Bawa, he says, Mr. Paul, may Allah protect you and your family. Amen. Baptism Ijay says, bring it on. Good evening, Akan, would be so much appreciated. From Samuel Fusu, he says, Paul, are you afraid to say that Pa Willie would have performed better like his nephew, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo? ABDK says, I am enjoying the UNC song and don't know why I'm laughing so much. The name #Pawili. Lastly, from Say Edward, he says, keep it up, you are the best of all journalists. By Say Edward, watching you live from Libya. Over to you, Ella.
Right, so there's a lot of conversation about the raid and how people feel about it. And this one is from Eden. He says, I'm an NDC member, but I must confess that the rate at which our ministers are coming out with their communication is very poor. Looking at the drug issues with how Felix and Sami are making it difficult for us, the grassroots, to believe who is actually speaking the truth. Osei Ado says, oh, how? Ghana, so barbaric. I tell you, Uncle Paul, these are the groups of people that we have voted into power. They are very power-hungry individuals, and I always say, God will surely judge them. Husseini says, it's shameful and barbaric, so embarrassing to say the least. Ghana has come of age to endure this kangaroo style of governance. And this one is from Reles. He says, Ghana, dear Charlie, everyone is doing things unlawfully. Eric says, this is nonsense. You don't misbehave and apologize later. No, it is definitely foolishness. Mohammed says, good evening, Mr. Paul. May Allah protect you from all the works of the devil, and thank you for the good works you're doing for Ghana. There was the reason one NDC man came to the station and said that if NDC are in power and start enjoying their office AC and V8, then they start foolishness. Think they would remain in power forever. God bless you, Mr. Paul, and tell the man that Ghana is a peaceful country and Ghana is definitely not Nigeria. Thank you. Opium says, in other jurisdictions, such characters would have come no near the seat of government. People in higher office are expected to work with respected and dignified individuals. They are those who serve the people and not the Lord over them. He should be fired with immediate effect. And lastly, from Imoro, he says, Apostle Paul, on the issue of the cocaine scandal and money laundering, it is important to point out that Felix has brought disgrace to the office of the government, communication, and the office of the president and the NDC as a political party. Why do I say so? It is not true that Angola hasn't got the European regulation requirement certificate to point out to Felix, and has got its RA3 certification on October 2023. And by this, the dishonorable Felix lied when he claimed that it hasn't got the EU requirement certificate. Also, Felix claimed that the flight came to Ghana and that is also not a fact. Felix, we need further information. We need further information on why you don't want to have a press conference. Ghanaians have video evidence on what has happened, and we definitely need answers. Right, and it's what you have for us.
Well, it may seem as though while others are frowning upon the raid, there are people who still see nothing wrong with it. In the likes of Alice Kweku, who said, even Prof. Kwesi Ochuri Simon says, go to court if you see anything untoward. Is the ADC greater than the former Vice President, Atta Mills, whose house was raided as well? It seems the NPP is only reaping what they sowed. Now, Master Planner Jr. says that the national security can operate, ransack, and investigate people's houses based on suspicions. But the same group of people are saying they cannot investigate the cocaine flight issues based on suspicions. This is pure hypocrisy and dishonesty. Our democracy is under threat in just less than 4 months of President Mahama's office. Now, Alice Kweku says even Prof. Kwesi Prempeh has had cause to complain about how the mandate to govern has been misconstrued and misunderstood by the NDC, and it can lead to a loss of goodwill real quick. Who is in charge? Now, Imora Mohammed says, Paul, Rambo-style raid on Dr. Baumia's ADC's house was just ploy and the tactic that was designed by the Office of the President to sway and hijack issues relating to the cocaine scandal and money laundering issues that has engulfed this country, especially. So when we haven't had any prosecution about those two major seizures amounting to over 10 billion Ghana cedis, the highest in Ghana's history. Now, Beatrice Janice Upper says, what kind of gendarme government has Ghanaians brought upon themselves? Because this is deeply disgusting and sad at the same time. Now, Gariba Abdullah Akonte says, dear Paul, have you seen how some of the NDC guys have become too arrogant to tolerate other views in Ghana now? Surprisingly, most of these guys were on radio and TV insulting almost everybody during President Nanado's government. Keep up the good work you're doing for the good people of Ghana, and may this not happen again. Now, lastly, Joseph Nyani says, are we now in a kangaroo or a banana republic? No wonder Mahama once said that the NDC was a party founded out of violence. This is clearly an evidence. Now back to you, Paul.
Hello. Tonight we observe the live tracking of flights from Honorable Intim Fojo's touchscreen. The data suggests that one of the planes mentioned by Felix Kwachofosu has actually never been in Ghana. Another one, which was said by Felix to have left the country, shows on the database that it is still in Ghana. We discuss also the massive barrage of media criticism leveled against Intim Fojo, and we wonder if there has been some inducement towards creating doubts and dislike for the honorable whistleblower. Well, as the chickens are coming home to roost, it's becoming obvious that another video is required from the desk of the honorable Kwachofosu, because as it is, there are more questions arising than answers. Also tonight, it looks like the Attorney General will not be in court tomorrow to argue against the injunction over the Chief Justice impeachment process. A letter intercepted by Good Evening Ghana suggests that. We will deal with that and show you the letter. And has Oliver Vomaho and his group lost the support of their political, or is it former political allies on Galamsey? Because now Professor Kobi Mensah says he has no expertise to discuss Galamsey. Professor Ranford Jampo's talk is strangely incoherent, and Joyce Bauer, the presidential staffer, says Galamsey is not about government but it's a collective effort. As social media never forgets, their past posts and videos against Akufo-Addo for Galamsey is making the rounds and is quite embarrassing. Politicians may be getting a very bad name for this unfortunate U-turn from some of our friends. We deal with all that and show you the past videos and today's comments so that you can juxtapose. Join us tonight online on Facebook and on Metro TV for a very special edition of Good Evening Ghana. Welcome back to the show, and now we go to the touchscreen to listen to Reverend Intim Fojo. Again, a video that we recorded as part of the first work of the week on Sunday night. So this is what happened. On Sunday morning, I got a call from one important politician on the MPP side and said, would you like to interrogate Reverend Ntim Fojo's claims? I said, yeah, by all means, I'm interested. So he connected me to Reverend Ntim Fojo and I asked him to come to the studio at 8 o'clock. So I asked the team members to be here Sunday night. So he came. So he sat here and I said, okay, Reverend, show us what you have. Then he said, I don't need to show you. We can just do a live tracking of the planes. And then you will see that some of the things Felix said were not accurate. So I became interested. So we all sat here and watched Felix Kwachofosu's video. And I said, show me the part that he said, okay, this one, that one, that one. All right. So the producers suggested that let's do a dry run of the test. So we put on our internet, went on the touch screen, put it in, typed the number. He said, okay, type this plane. Can you see? I could see it myself. The plane comes from Canary Island to Ghana, back to Canary Island. It doesn't come from Luanda, it comes from Harare. We are talking about 4 different planes here. So I said, okay, is this a system that I can do on my phone? He said, oh, you can do it anywhere. So we took another computer, put it in, tested it, same results. I said, so if any viewer who is watching us does that, he'll get the same results. I said, they should get the same results. Okay. And then I heard him on phone talking to some people. And they were talking about Airmed. And I said, I'm interested in the conversation. Who are you talking to? He said, I'm talking to some people who have been supporting me with the research. I said, can I hear it? So he put on speaker. He was asking them, the repair system, the spare part system, how does it work? They told him all that. So he came at about 8, 9 o'clock. So sometime around 1 a.m., I decided, okay, let's record. And then let's watch it and see whether it's credible. So we went on a touch screen and then we went through the recording. We paused a little bit because some of the things he said I didn't understand. I couldn't follow well. I said, no, Reverend, this one I didn't understand. You have to say it again. And then he said it again. And then we finally finished the recording around 3 a.m., something like that. That's Monday morning, 3 a.m. then. Okay. And I'm usually awake at that time of the day. So people who know me well, they call me it's easy for you to call me at 1 a.m. and get me. It's very easy. 2 a.m. and get me. It's very, very easy. So I was getting a few phone calls. I was telling them I'm in the studio. So what are you doing? I said, Ntim Fojo is here. Some of them wanted to come, so they came. And then we all sat here and we looked at it. Wow. When we finished the video, we put it out on social media. Monday morning, when I got up around 8 o'clock, I had received a barrage of calls. And everybody, including, I have to say, Katie Hammond, how are you? Honorable Katie Hammond was one of those who called. We've not spoken in a while. We've not spoken since the election debacle. So he called me and I said, oh, for Katie, I mean, who watching? I saw Koreman. He said, and for us, how I MP there? I've done 5 times, Katie Hammond. So we laughed over it. Then he said, now somebody Ntim Fojo, okay, no credit, no coffee, one had the crowd. I said, well, I mean, this is what we have, so I don't know. Okay, without much ado now, those of you who have not seen the video on social media, here it is. We recorded about 28 minutes going through the tracking to show whether the communication by the government spokesperson was correct or it was not correct. Now, our putting out the video and doing this interview does not suggest that there was drag or there was no drag. Not yet. We do not have power to make that conclusion. What we are pointing out is that the statement that the government spokesperson gave out either was limited or was untrue, and that is where we are worried. If the statement that the government spokesperson gave out was limited, I'm looking for a better word for it, but it was short of the total information. What word should I use? He didn't give all the information. Maybe he didn't know it, because this issue of the flight number he gave, where the tracking shows that the plane has not ever come to Ghana. I mean, that's amazing. Then he gave another flight track number that shows that the plane is still in Ghana. And his communication was that all 4 planes have left the country since the 25th of March. But on Sunday night, and if you track it tonight, still there. The plane, the tracker says, is still in Ghana. It's a modern technological world. Those of us who are old are very impressed by this kind of technology that people can do. So I asked people, so Monday, I called people who have private jet and who know these things. And they explained to me that the reason why these planes put out all their information is for hiring and for buying. So it's like you go to buy a car and somebody says that the car has been serviced so and so and so, and they have to produce a document. I said, because the plane is universal, a plane sits in America and can be hired by somebody in Luanda for a long time. So they put these things out. So when you want to rent the plane, you know the condition in which the plane is. Whether it has been serviced, there will be a log book, and it will show internationally where the plane has been to, where it has not been to. We also found that this famous statement that was made by the government spokesperson that a plane left Luanda and came to Accra, and it came to Accra for certification so that it may enter Europe, because Rwanda doesn't have the capacity to do the certification.
it would appear that that information is also false, because Luanda does have the certification. In Team Fojo showed all that. Without much ado, let's see the video. Well, so we're going to give you the latest on the aircraft saga. Reverend in Team Fojo is here. Reverend, so what's the latest?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. So regarding the 2 suspicious flights from Gran Canaria, a matter which has been in the news, we are going to do evidence-based presentation to dispute the false claims by Kwacho Fosu and to show you the actual itinerary and how the movements of the suspected goods, how it took place.
So Pastor Kochu talked about 2 scenarios. One plane comes, is faulty. Another plane comes, delivers the parts that, takes up what was in the first plane, goes away. Another air-made plane comes, develops a fault. Another one comes. And he has showed us videos of the first one, and then the second one, he showed that the tire is being repaired. So what do you have?
So let's go to the first one. Airmed flight N823 AM.
Okay, so that's
the first one. So
N823 AM.
That's the Airmed flight. It's an air ambulance.
Can anyone watching this video also go to the same site and get the same
information? FlightAware. Just go to FlightAware. Is a platform globally that tracks the itinerary and the flight activities of every flight. So you can come along with us.
All right. So where are we?
So now we're here, and the air ambulance, Airmed flights N823 AM, first landed from Gran Canaria.
Okay. So this column shows where it came from.
So this is where it came from.
Gran Canaria.
And the time it took off.
International Airport.
This is the time it took off from
04:59 AM and then landed at 9:02 GMT Kotoka. On what date?
Exactly 20th March.
20th of March. Okay, this conforms with what Felix said anyway.
Absolutely.
All right,
so this is a flight that stayed on for 5 days. Yes. Whatever it may probably allegedly waiting for to carry away or bring it.
This is the air ambulance type
This
plane?
is air ambulance.
Okay, it came here on 20th and stayed for 5 days.
5 days.
Okay.
And then left Kotoka International Airport 1 a.m. to Gran Canaria and arrived Gran Canaria 5.
So it came from Gran Canaria off the island of Spain.
Yes.
And then left to the same place.
Absolutely.
This is the Airmed. Okay.
And this is the Airmed. Same Airmed, Felix says that was going somewhere and it only arrived in Ghana for a rest stop and developed faults. And the part two
Felix said it arrived in Ghana.
It arrived
the document
in Ghana,
says it arrived in Ghana.
And it developed faults for 5 days.
Felix said it went back to Europe. Is that what I said?
Yes, Felix says that it went back to Europe.
And it did go back to Europe, isn't it?
Absolutely.
All right. Okay.
But he said that it was going somewhere. And then it developed faults, and when it was fixed, it didn't go where he was going, but it went back to Gran Canaria.
So you are suggesting to us that it wasn't going anywhere. It was coming from Gran Canaria to Ghana and going back to Gran Canaria.
Absolutely.
So any suggestion that it was on its way, something is not correct.
And we're going to show you the next part, the next piece of the evidence will be the activity log on the maintenance history of this same air flight to expose Felix on the so-called maintenance, the tie that says had to be replaced, the oil, and everything he said was repaired on this. We will show in the activity log for Ghanaians to see what happened on this.
Okay, so next, what are we seeing?
So the next one, we're going to the Airmed flight 864 AM, which supposedly, according to this is an air ambulance. It's not even supposed to
the same air ambulance.
Absolutely.
So this is the second one that came.
This is the second one that Kwacho Fosu claims came to bring parts.
Yes,
ties
he said that.
And goods.
Yeah.
But mind you, it is an air ambulance. It's not supposed to carry cargo.
Okay, let's look at the log.
So let's look at the itinerary. So
where's the itinerary?
So 22nd of March.
They're going to pick it up. Can you put the yellow on there? Yeah, there they have it. It's over here.
Yeah.
22nd of March. Yes. Gran Canaria against that the second plane also came from
Gran Canaria.
Oh, okay. To Kotoka International Airport.
So straight from Gran Canaria to Kotoka International Airport, but
leaving at 1:32 a.m. that time, European time, and then arriving at 5:54 a.m. GMT.
Yes.
Okay.
But you see, the aircraft hub is not in Gran Canaria. So if they really even wanted to bring parts to fix this broken aircraft, they couldn't have brought it from Gran Canaria.
I don't understand that.
You see, every airline has their air hub.
So like British Airways hub is in London?
Absolutely. This Airmed, their aircraft hub is in America.
So their home is not Gran Canaria?
No, they don't even have any air hub around, aircraft hub around Gran Canaria or anywhere in Africa.
Okay.
So if they really had something to bring, they would have brought it from USA straight to the spot where they need to deliver that part. But again, so it couldn't have come from Gran Canaria to deliver ties and parts and gear, because I'll even show you the picture of this particular airline and the fact that it doesn't even have cargo compartment. But let's stay on the history. Let's stay on the history.
Okay, there's a photograph here.
Okay, so we'll get back to the history. But this is a photograph. So this is the same as the NA2AM. It's the same.
The same design, but this is not the same plane.
Absolutely. The Airmed series, the N series, like the NA23AM, they are the same mode.
Yes.
All the N series are the same.
So
mode.
what's the point?
So if they had a compartment, a cargo compartment, it would have been here. This is the engine. So the engine would have been shifted this way so that you would have seen a compartment door somewhere here, showing that you can open, just as we have a door here. You would have seen a cargo compartment here where you would open and put those ties and whatever.
So the luggages of the passengers, where did they put it?
So no, so this is not a passenger. This is just for ambulance. So
if somebody is unwell, where do they put the luggage?
So it is just designed to carry patients. So they carry them on the stretcher and then they put them in here. And so if there's any tie, supposedly...
No, but if there's luggage, passenger luggage, where does it go? Because the patient may go with doctors, nurses, somebody else.
No. So there's no compartment. So they'll put it somewhere
inside.
Inside, yes. In the
so you mean it doesn't take heavy luggage? It cannot take heavy luggage.
It cannot take heavy.
All right. Okay.
And so there's no compartment showing here that they put those ties in there. And if Kwacho Fosu claims and maintains that they carry that flight, they carry the ties and the parts inside this aircraft, it's violation of the federal laws. And by this, Kwacho Fosu is indicting the airline, and they can face possible prosecution for violation. Because you're not supposed to carry ties inside, only patients. So let's the point.
Let's go on. Let's see whether you can convince us. This one is 50-50, but let's go on. Okay, what next?
So the next one, there's even suspicion on this same flight. Let's check. From Gran Canaria, comes to Kotoka International Airport, same 22nd March. On that same 22nd March, he leaves Kotoka International Airport to Luanda in Angola.
Just near Luanda?
Yes.
Where is near Luanda?
It's in Angola.
A place called near Luanda?
Yeah. That's how they've configured it.
No, say that again. So the plane that came to Accra
on 22nd,
the same day,
left Kotoka.
That was not part of Kwacho Fosu's briefing.
It wasn't. He said he came. Kwacho Fosu says that he came on 22nd and stayed on the 25th.
That's what he said. Yes. But you are saying that. Are you sure?
Oh yes. So that is what we are saying. So
and anybody can check this.
Anybody can check it. And from there, he came again to 4 de February.
No, hold on. So Kotoka International Airport, same day, goes to near Luanda. It leaves at 7:26 a.m.
Absolutely.
Last seen is 11:51 a.m.
That's it.
At the near Luanda place.
That's it. From there, the same day, so it did a lot of rounds. And then the same day, it went to 4 de Fevereiro in Angola.
No, is it?
It left, yes.
Where is that?
So,
this is
4 de Fevereiro.
4 is here. 4 de Fevereiro.
Yeah.
And then let's be clear what we are looking at.
So
this one.
4 de Fevereiro.
Yes,
in Angola.
It's in Angola?
Yes. So it left for Lanceria. And then from Lanceria, the next day, which is 23rd, left Lanceria to the same 4 de Fevereiro. So you could see the back and forth.
Oh, this is interesting. So from Accra, from Canary Island to Kotoka to near Luanda to Lanceria and then to 4 de Fevereiro. Same plane.
Absolutely. And from 4 de Fevereiro back to Kotoka on 24th March.
Oh, wow.
All this history contradicts what Kwacho Fosu puts out there. And on 20th...
No, I'm confused. Kwacho Fosu says the plane comes on 20th and it's here till 25th because it developed a fault and then another plane comes. You are suggesting to us that that's untrue.
No, that's not true. And you can play his voice.
Is it time to play his voice yet? Is it time to play it? If it's time to play, let's
hear it. So you can play his voice so that we hear his assertion on the N864.
Whilst it was landing in Ghana, it developed a tire burst and some difficulty with its landing gear, and therefore needed to remain here to be serviced. So another aircraft with registration number N864 arrived on 22nd March with ties and flight engineers from Luanda to replace the damaged ties of the aircraft. Now, what
it doesn't tell us is that it didn't stay from 20th to 25th.
No,
and when he says it had a technical issue, It may not be true because it moved.
So, Paul, the Airmed 823 AM is the one that, according to Kwache Ofosu, had faults, which arrived on 20th March.
Yes.
And was waiting for this new one to bring parts, which I'm disputing that they couldn't have brought parts because it's not designed for compartment.
That's okay, but the other one that he says stayed and you say it didn't stay.
That's this one, N864. It says that it arrived from Luanda on 22nd March, which is false. It arrived from Gran Canaria on 22nd March.
It didn't arrive from Luanda?
No, Luanda. It arrived from Gran Canaria, the same Gran Canaria, straight to Kotoka International Airport. It took off 1:32 a.m. from Gran Canaria, arrived at Kotoka 5:44.
And took off again
and
to near Luanda. Same day?
Yes, same day.
The plane that he said had developed faults and couldn't move, you are saying
that is not, that one is still. So there are two of them. The N823 and N823 AM is the one he claims was faulty and was here.
Okay, so that according to your fact, the one that was faulty and was here for 5 days
that one was here for that 5 days.
Yeah, we need to clarify because I was thinking you said it moved.
No, that one was here.
It was here for 5 days.
Yes.
Okay, which one moved?
So this, the one that he claims brought cargo, which couldn't have brought cargo because it hasn't have any cargo.
Oh, that's the one you said didn't come from Luanda.
It didn't come from Luanda.
Oh, the second one.
Yes, it came straight from Gran Canaria.
The second one came from Gran Canaria.
It didn't come from Luanda.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And
now we are getting it.
And then
okay, let's clarify. One plane, Airmed came. He said developed faults and remained here for 5 days.
Yes.
According to your information,
that
it did remain for 5 days.
5 days.
So Kwache Ofosu is right on that one.
But he's wrong.
Then he says a second one came in from Luanda to bring parts.
Absolutely.
That's the one you are challenging.
That's the one I'm challenging.
That it didn't come from Luanda.
It didn't come from Luanda. It came from Gran Canaria.
Okay.
And then it didn't stay here to the 25th of March that he claimed.
No, the 25th is the first plane.
No, he also claimed that this same one.
The second one also stayed to 25th?
Absolutely. And then that's the movement. So you can see from
But
Gran
you say
Canaria,
that one left Ghana the same day.
It left the same day to Luanda and then back to 4 de Fevereiro, which is another airport in Angola, and then to Lanseria the next day, which is 23rd March, from Lanseria back to de Fevereiro, and then to Kotoka International Airport. It came here 23rd March again.
So when it came here twice?
Came here twice.
The same plane?
The same plane came here twice.
In a matter of 3-4 days?
Absolutely. And then stayed here, and then the same 24, on the next day, 24th, it left Gran Canaria.
This is interesting. So the second plane that the Felix Kwache Ofosu says came and delivered parts and left on the 25th did not. It came here. You don't know whether it delivered parts or not. You are challenging
whatever it brought. Paul, whatever Kwache Ofosu claims it brought couldn't have been ties. That also calls for interrogation. Whatever he claims it brought couldn't have been ties.
Couldn't have been parts.
Couldn't have been parts. And there's going to be a second part which will follow shortly, which is going to detail the maintenance history. We call it activity log. We're going to display that also to dispute the so-called faults that he claimed were on the N823. We will open it up just like we have opened. And we'll
so you can see the maintenance culture.
And we will see.
And if you see that there was no maintenance in Accra, then we are in trouble.
We will fact check it according to the faults that he
so where we are, what Felix Kwache Ofosu has to answer is that we are finding out that the second plane that came, perhaps came to Ghana, left Ghana, and came back to Ghana. And when left Ghana, went to Luanda and went to Lanseria and went to 4 de Fevereiro
and then it came back to Kotoka.
Wow.
And then after Kotoka, it went to Gran Canaria.
But and then the other one, the original one, also left on 25th to Gran Canaria.
Absolutely.
What is your suspicion then?
So this flight also, whatever it brought, since it is not, it couldn't be cargo, it couldn't be parts.
You mean the plane has no capacity
it's not designed
and no licensing and design to carry parts?
It's by
an air ambulance. It doesn't carry parts.
It cannot carry parts. It cannot carry tires or gears or anything. And so if Kwache Ofosu still stands by that, it's in violation of federal law.
But if it cannot carry ties, how can they carry the things you are allegedly carrying?
Yeah, but those things are carried illicitly. So if those things are carried, they carry them on a stretcher, like a stretcher. That's how it's packaged, and then it would have been put inside.
Cash and drugs.
Allegedly.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on.
So, back onto
So we are going to the other plane. Is it? Are we done with Airmed?
Yes. So now let's go to the cover.
Okay. Yes, the other one. That's the one I like. It's a big, nice plane, orange and blue.
Absolutely. But I want us to hear from Felix what he said about Kavok.
Okay, let's hear what Felix Kwachofosu said about the second set of planes. The Kavak. Is that what it's called?
Kavok Air. Antonov.
Kavok Air Antonov. Let's hear what he said
about
it.
The CVK 7037. But let us hear the voice of.
Let's hear what he said about it.
The first one is an Antonov flight 12BK with registration number CVK 7037. Now this flight essentially is a cargo plane which arrived on the 12th of March 2025. Now the purpose for arriving in Ghana was what we call a technical stop. Essentially, this is a cargo flight that was destined for the European Union market. And European Union regulations dictate that some specific regulatory requirements be met before any plane of that sort can enter the EU. Now, this plane originated from Luanda in Angola. It was loaded with oil drill equipment and lubricant oil, which were contained in jerrycans. It was headed for the EU market. Now, Luanda does not have the certification to carry out the sort of requirements that this plane had to meet before entering the EU market. The Swiss cargo facility at the Kodoka International Airport has that certification, and they can do that kind of scanning.
Okay, so what's your dispute on that?
So whatever this video is, I will prove to you is a video scene, is a movie scene. This plane is not the CVK 7037.
I don't understand that.
This is another Kavok Air, which is currently in Ghana, and which they carried. You know, it's all staged.
I don't understand it.
It is all staged because
the aircraft that we saw,
yes,
which has purportedly departed from Ghana.
It's not.
It hasn't departed.
No.
It's here.
The 7037 he's talking about, it never even came here at all. So which video is this?
No, what are you saying?
For the past 3 months, there has been no activity on the so-called 7037.
How do we know that?
So let's check.
Okay, put it in. That's it. They put it in. Okay, let's go to the. Let's go to.
So according to Kwachofosu, this Kavok Air 70 CVK 7037 arrived. According to him, they arrived on 12th March.
12th of March, yes.
So let's check activity. Show flight between 12th of March and purportedly leaving 25th March. Okay. Let us show.
Okay, so let's do that. So that's a calendar.
Yes.
So they go to 12th of March, correct? Yes. Okay, and then they go to
purportedly departing 25th March.
25th of March.
And see if you will see any activity on it.
Okay, so let's see. Clicks. What does it say?
And viewers, you can come along with us. Yeah, try it also.
Yeah, viewers are looking at it. So what does it say? Where's the information?
No history data in the last 3 months.
Can viewers read this, producer? No history data searched last 3 months. That is the number of the plane.
Absolutely.
No history data.
Yes.
So why do you say it's in Ghana if there's no history data?
So there's another type of this currently in Ghana. Yes, there's another type. This 7037 hasn't been in Ghana.
Maybe he got the number wrong. Maybe
no.
If it's the same type of plane, but they got the number wrong.
But
I mean,
it says that there were 2 planes. One came, developed fault.
Yes.
And another had to come.
Yes, precisely.
And bring parts.
So which one are we searching? The one that came or the one that had to come?
So the one that, both of them. This first one that he said came and they didn't have certification. And
yes.
and so
and needed certification.
And needed certification.
He came from Angola.
Angola didn't have certification there, and had to go to come to Ghana before it gets the certification to Europe.
But whilst was in Ghana, developed the fault.
And whilst in Ghana developed the fault, there are 2 falsehoods I must dispel. The first one is that it never came to Ghana because there's no history on it. The last 3 months, the last scene of this flight is December 18th, 2024. That was the last activity ever seen. It's it's at the time. Let me just confirm.
Which country?
But we can even check it right here.
Okay, but we don't need to do much. But so what we're saying here, and what we are putting on video is just what we have. You can cross-check it. You can verify it.
It flew was from Malaga, Spain, to Cairo, Egypt,
in 2024,
December 18, 2024. from Spain to Egypt.
That's the last.
That's the last.
That's the last journey the plane did on its record.
That's the last activity.
It hasn't come to Ghana.
It hasn't come to Ghana. The last that ended in Africa was in Egypt, from Spain to Egypt, December 18th, 2024. So let us check the second flight. That was the replacement.
Yes,
that
yes.
came. Let us check.
Let's please put the number up. So that's
CVK 7007.
7007.
But
Okay.
we may even want to hear confirmation from him.
No, let's do this. Okay, yeah.
Great.
People can always check the press conference.
Yeah.
So this one was the view more flight history. That's where we're going. Okay.
Yes.
So what dates did he say, and what are we putting in?
So he says that this flights. Let me just.
Yeah.
Suppose.
So we are trying to get the flight dates and the details for viewers so we can look at it. It's getting very interesting, isn't it? But okay, do you have it? Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So this flight came here on the 15th of March, and you can cross-check when he says arrive here.
What did he say? You just tell us.
So we'll just cross-check.
Okay. Should we listen to Felix?
So let's listen.
Okay, let's listen to Felix on this
it.
one. The time the flights came in. If you have the video, let's play. Listen to the government information minister.
Whilst here, it developed an engine blade fault. For that reason, a replacement aircraft, URCEZ, with registration number CVK 7007, was brought in to evacuate the cargo. 7007 was brought in to evacuate the cargo.
So he says he came here.
Well,
so
okay, yes. So that's what he said. He came here.
Yes. Yeah. So that one indeed arrived here 15th of March from Harare International Airport to Kotoka.
Oh, it didn't come from Luanda?
No, it didn't come from
Harare, Zimbabwe.
Harare, Zimbabwe.
Harare, Zimbabwe was never mentioned in anything that Felix said.
It has never come up anywhere.
No, he has never said it. But this is the record?
Absolutely. That's the record. CVK 7007. That is it. And now, this flight is still in Ghana.
Oh, that's interesting.
This flight hasn't left.
This plane is still in Accra.
This plane is still in Accra.
So you're guessing that's the plane from which they filmed
So that is a film. That is the scene for their staged evidence.
So this is the plane that was filmed.
So this
is still in Ghana.
This is the Carpok Air that is still in Ghana. And then I dare Civil Aviation Authority and Ghana Airport to produce it. They should check all the hangars. It is there, hasn't left. The records are here. This is flight aware. Hasn't left anywhere. So they went onto that flight. You see, when you see that video, you could see clearly a stage thing, because which airline?
I was concerned about who filmed it.
Yes.
Why did they film it?
Which, in the normal practice, you've been the board chair of Ghana Airports Company. You know the practices at the aviation. When an airline lands, and whether it's coming for maintenance or it's coming to replace, do we have, this whole thing filming, or did they have some intelligence that something was going to happen, for which all of them assembled, like over a dozen of inspectors, like 20 inspectors. You saw them in the video wearing their jack vests, and then to stage that they came and inspected it, because and then they filmed it. Is it a standard practice that you film planes that are arriving as replacement? So whatever, if that video was true, so whatever it is, my conclusion is that this is the same flight which is still here. So national security, Ghana Airport, civil aviation, let us have this checked, and then flight aware will not lie. You're asking for evidence. That is it.
But you're a member of parliament. You can put an urgent question for the Minister for Transport, Minister for Defense, and then they can answer it.
We will go the full haul. You see, everything we have, from the way I've been sequencing it, I drop it piece by piece, piece by piece, but the whole fact is together. But it's sequenced. And right here on your platform, we're going to unravel it all. They dared me for evidence. And that is the path we're going to go.
So you're going to come back with us with the
maintenance
culture,
the maintenance activity, the activity
to
log,
confirm whether the plane was maintained here or not.
Whether I had any fault.
But anytime there's a maintenance, it's logged.
It is logged, because if you're a pilot, if you go down to the flight, the first thing you check is the activity log to check the maintenance history. When the last time it was fixed, whether the time was changed, the date, where it was done, the gear, the oil change, you will see everything. Wow. And Ghanaians will be shocked.
Okay, Reverend,
we'll
leave it here for now. We'll leave it here.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, check, cross-check, fact-check, and tell us what you find. Yeah, that was done on Monday here, and they've seen the video now. The story is still unfolding, so we have a lot to do. Reverend Fojo assures us that there's
one more step to cross, and that is he checking the log of the aircraft that Felix Ofosu-Kwakye mentioned, and to find the log, and he's believing that he will find a log document that shows that there was no repairs conducted in Ghana. He said he's already been told that, but he's asked for the document. Let's see if it comes. But I'd like to say something for Felix Kwakye Ofosu here, you know, and it's a very interesting thing I'm going to say, but I'm sure viewers, some of you can relate to it. You see, at the end of the day, when I look at Felix and the problem that this whole press conference and the contest with Team Fojo on veracity and who is telling the truth and all that, because of the work that I do, I mean, it's difficult to convince you viewers, but it's true. I still feel something in me. There's something in me that still feels sorry for him. And I explain. You see, Arsenal have just beaten Real Madrid 3-0 there. If you're a goalkeeper for Real Madrid, or you're a goalkeeper for Arsenal, won the game, you're a goalkeeper for Arsenal, and the Real Madrid goalkeeper makes a horrendous error. He's holding the ball, he's not able to hold it, slips in. You are happy that Real Madrid has, you're happy that Arsenal has won, has gotten a goal up. But as a goalkeeper, you actually sympathize with the Real Madrid goalkeeper. It's like that. You feel sorry for him, say, ooh, why did he do that? That's how I feel for Felix. I feel like, you know, this is a very difficult job. Something happens, you are not part of it, you don't know anything about it, you are called to come and deal with it. It has to do with maybe your boss, maybe your colleague, maybe your subordinate, maybe your boss's sister or something, and you have to deal with it. So I can assure you viewers tonight that even the MP people, now Akosia Meno has been tackling Felix quite a bit, but given that she's also a communicator, I can assure you that deep down inside her somewhere, she feels sorry for Felix, that, what happened? I can assure you that Miracles Abuaji, who's watching the Felix, maybe, yes, naturally he's excited that MPP is gaining something. But Miracles, because of the work he does, he will feel sorry for Felix. Me too, all of us. Kojo Ponkroma, there's something in you that feels, but Felix too, why? Charlie, this is our work. That's what they say. You go to court, a lawyer on the other side sees the other lawyer make a blatant error, and he's going to gain from the error, but he's like, oh my goodness, what happened to counsel? But he's gaining from it. That's how it is. You see, when you taste deep into a professional work, some kind of profession, if a doctor who is competing with another doctor for a position in the hospital, and that doctor goes to conduct surgery and commits a very blatant error, deep down within him, he feels sorry for the doctor. Say, this thing. If a lawyer goes to court, I can imagine a conversation between a judge and another lawyer. A lawyer goes to the judge and says, what did the attorney general? What happened to the attorney general? I say, he came to court and he was unaware that the thing had been repealed. The other lawyer, who may have benefited from it, will say that, you see, the thing was repealed during the vacation. So many of them, attorney general. Oh my goodness. So he didn't know. Say, he didn't know, Charlie. You feel there's something that makes you feel sorry for somebody who is doing the same kind of work you do, even when he's on the other side, even when you are gaining. So when I look at the whole scenario and I look at Felix's demeanor in the video, I feel that you don't wish any communication person inside that kind of situation, because you don't know anything about it. Often, I don't know the details of this one, but often communicators don't know anything about it. They are called and say, Charlie, come, this is it, take this document, and then you're in a hurry to put out the information to make your side look good, to make your bosses look good, and then you would go and meet a faux pas, a complete cul-de-sac. And Felix, I'm with you. I'm with you, Felix Kwakye Ofosu. So I'm with you. On this matter, dear. This is how our work is difficult, Felix. This is how our work. It's very, very difficult, and sometimes it's thankless. After you have done all the struggle, if the thing doesn't work, they will come and say, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye too. Why did he go and do a press conference? Why didn't he take his time? That's what they will come and say. The same people who say, Charlie, where is Felix? Charlie, Felix, this one is not Shamima, this one is you. You have to hold a press conference. You have to do a video quickly. The same people who say that, when the alarm blow, they'll come and say, but Felix too, who told him to go and do press conference? And Felix cannot answer. You, the person, you can't say, it was this man who said I should. You can't say that. Because the man is standing there when another person is asking him that, but boss, this is your Felix guy too. Who told him to? The man too will not tell them that I told Felix to go and do the press conference. Felix too cannot say that, but it's this man who told me. Close friends of his, he will tell them.
They will ask him that, about what happened. I will not be surprised, viewers, I will not be surprised if Felix has received a call from some NPP people asking him that, Bojam, what happened? Didn't you look at the thing well? I will not be surprised at all. Yes, NPP is benefiting from whatever happens, but if you are in communication like he is, you can feel for him. So, Oga, this is our work there. It's like that. So don't worry. You are doing well. You are doing well, you know. I'll show you a story tonight where NDC bloggers are blaming Felix Kwashiorkor for I think he remunerated bloggers to do the story, which is okay. I don't see any problem with that. And in remunerating the bloggers to do the story, he remunerated all bloggers, entertainment bloggers. Apparently, the bloggers know that this is MPP blogger and this is NDC blogger. I remember when we were launching the book, and I said, how many bloggers are we going to do? How much are they going to charge? And then the guy who was organizing it for me, somebody you know, I mentioned his name, told me that, oh, but Paulus, these are NDC bloggers. I said, oh, but we are launching a book. It doesn't matter whether they're NDC or they're MPP. They just have to tell the story of the book. That's about it. So let them come. And we remunerated them. So, I mean, when you want to remunerate bloggers, you remunerate all of them at the same time. I think that's what Felix did. And now, the NDC bloggers are taxing him for paying the same amount of money he paid to them to. But I mean, that one maybe should have paid NDC more than NPP. That works. I'll show you that story after the break. But if you know him, tell him that I've been talking about him. I have him in my prayer. I feel for him. This, our work, is very, very difficult. After the break.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. Bet Saver. Here's Kwame and Yao. And Bet Saver. Win, even if your bet misses.
Fire pomudi ni agobi Ghana foni age if you say ya your local spices na ya frafra dia ya sankofa natural spice me dey go me jollof mu me still wa hodoma emanate dance
Sally the barbecue dey go on
sankofa natural spices and one even use 100% natural said the happen
Adofo mamu nye huge mistake sankofa natural spices the
FDA ejedi nkratu yatu
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kids Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Make your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kids. Happy smile.
You the answer to my prayers. You with me everywhere. You my angel, miracle. You all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel. Tonight.
Look around. also need a makeover?
Mine clearly does. So we went to Ash Room and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. Are you ready to face the world? Or at least
Letters
and
as we said in our promo, there was a letter that was dispatched from the Office of the Attorney General to the Judicial Secretary indicating that state attorneys were on some training and so they will not be able to attend courts between, I believe, the 2nd April and the 9th of April. It's the 7th and the 9th of April, something like that. Tomorrow is 9th of April, and that's when the injunction process that was filed by Asifwa, the Honorable Member of Parliament for Tafo, against the processes of impeachment against the Chief Justice would be heard. Tomorrow morning, the Supreme Court building, it is expected that 5 judges will be listening to Ofori-Atta on the right and Dominic Ayini on the left. Now, we put out a promo because of the letter that we saw and speculated that it may well be that the Attorney General may not be in court tomorrow. But just as we're coming in, into the show, we got documents of the Attorney General's affidavit in opposition. We can't show you the document. These are Supreme Court material, and we just have to be more professional about it. What we have done, though, is that we have summarized what is in the document in terms of what the Attorney General is saying. We're going to share it with you now. Tomorrow morning, hopefully we'll all be in the court at 9 o'clock to see what happens. So Dominic Ayini is saying in the documents that have gone to the court, he says that on 28th March 2025, President's Executive Secretary wrote to the Chief Justice notifying her of the petitions and requesting her response to aid the consultation. Now, the applicants before the court are asking the Supreme Court that if they consider a true and proper interpretation of the provisions of Article 1466 and other articles of the 1992 Constitution, they would observe that there has been a violation of the process by the fact that the President appeared to have begun consultations with the Council of State without reference to the Chief Justice against whom the petition is written. They are saying that it will be fit and proper, or that it ought to be fit and proper for the Chief Justice against whom the petition has been made to have a say on the matter in terms of responding to the allegations or the accusations in the petition, so that her response in the petition will go to the Council of State, who will, in consultation with the President, make a prima facie determination. Asifwa is alleging that the fact that the government did not send the petition to the Lord Chief Justice before sending it to the Council of State, public announcement by Felix Kwachofosu, suggests bad faith on the part of the government. And we all know the undercurrents between the NDC and the Chief Justice. Mustafa Bande, who is the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, has said yesterday or today on Radio Joy FM that the Chief Justice is politically exposed. That's a very major statement for anyone to make, that the Chief Justice is politically exposed. So that's the matter that has gone to the courts. Now, Dominic Ayini is going to be arguing against it, and this is the affidavit that he has sent in opposition as we read. The Attorney General argues that while the Constitution entitles individuals to a hearing before removal decisions, it does not mandate the President to obtain a Chief Justice's response when determining a prima facie case. Further, the Attorney General argues that neither the Constitution nor case law obliges the President to obtain such a response before consulting the Council of State. Consequently, the Chief Justice has no legitimate expectation that requires an order for an interlocutory injunction. So what Dominic Ayini is saying is that the affidavit in opposition is that there's no rule anywhere that says that for the President to make a prima facie decision, you ought to consult the Chief Justice. I'm not sure how the court is going to receive that, because that's very controversial, isn't it? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But he's just simply saying, if somebody writes a letter accusing the Lord Chief Justice that you, the Chief Justice, you've done X, Y, Z, and WED, and therefore you ought to be removed through this petition, Dominic Ayini says that there's no rule, either in case law or elsewhere in the Constitution, that suggests that the Chief Justice against whom the petition has been made should have a response to that before the President can make a prima facie decision. But can the President or any tribunal for that matter make a prima facie decision based on one side of the story? I don't know. Maybe the Supreme Court will hear all that. So this is what the Attorney General has written. Because the affidavit has come in today, we suspect that either the Attorney General or the Deputy Attorney General will be in court tomorrow. But we will be there to bring you up-to-date reports. So take a look at our Facebook page from about 10 o'clock, and you might see either a live coverage or on-the-spot reports of what is happening. Now, here is Mustafa Bande. He says that if you attack me today, I won't go to court under the current judicial setup. The Chief Justice is politically exposed, Mustafa Bande declared. He says he does not trust the judicial system because the Chief Justice, the learned Chief Justice, Getu Tokono, is politically exposed. I'm not sure what the basis for saying that is, but well, this is what Mustafa Bande told Joy FM earlier today. Okay, so it's 3 minutes past 11. Let me take a final round of text messages, and then we have to end the show here. On Thursday, we have a few things coming up. Maybe keep an eye on our Facebook page. We just might do a Wednesday night preparation here and show it to you on Thursday. We have the A Plus story because Kwame A Plus has responded by a video to what we did here about the Parliament. We accused him directly of corruption, of taking taxpayers' money in a way that he shouldn't take based on his past life and based on his advocacy against some of these things in the way in which government has spent money. Graciously, he has responded in a video. We're going to deal with it here tonight, but we have run out of time, and so we'll deal with it on Thursday. Tell Kwame A Plus, and I've already sent it to him. I've invited him to come on the show and let's talk about it. I think he's busy. He's not responded yet, but I understand that Parliament is going on recess, so hopefully he'll be coming. Anyway, so yes, that's the A Plus story. We're gonna have to deal with that at some point. Now, though, let me take the final round of text messages. Who should I start with? Antoinette? All right. So I begin with Antoinette.
Thank you, Paul. So on the story of the airplanes, Yao February says, Honorable Minister for Government Communications came to the public with that communication and video to clear the mess that the minority members of Parliament alleged, but the additional information evidence Honorable Intim Fojo is alleging have proven the inconsistency in the government's explanation. Kofi Asamo says, Paul has a very unique and novel way of showing the incompetent nature of the NDC. May God really bless you. Now, Swale Sounds thinks that a lot of questions could have been asked Reverend Intim, but Paul literally let it slide. Anyway, it is all part of doing the work that needs to be done. Now, Ernest Clinton thinks that Sir Felix rushed with his response and made some mistakes, which is very vital in this critical situation. Yao February says again that so far the government have not disputed the information that Honorable Intim Fojo has shared with Ghanaians. Therefore, this information is enough for us to accept that indeed the allegation of drug trafficking and money laundering by the suspicious flight is nothing but the truth. Now, James K. Ankron says, watching Good Evening Ghana official now, I can confidently say that the Reverend Minister is not telling lies to the public. I could see he has a lot of evidence, but he intentionally tried to play some political games by forcing this current government to do Fabewosu. Felix Kwachio Fosu should be careful and as well slow to talk, especially about issues as such. And now Charles Hussein says, Reverend Intim Fodro is currently the man of the moment. He has exposed the propagandist Kwachio Fosu. Ghana under John Mahama has been a conduit for drug trafficking and money laundering. Now lastly, Bennett Dancer says, Paul, for the entire NDC propaganda machinery led by their chief propagandist, Ofosu Kwachio, to be doing such PR work on the grand scheme to traffic drugs instead of allowing the Ghana airport to tell Ghanaians what really is happening in this cocaine saga raises a lot of questions and suspicions.
All right, there seems to be a problem with audio on our YouTube, so we'll most definitely check that. It seems a lot of people are complaining about that. Now, Alachi Pop says, Salam alaikum, Paul, Apostle Paul. Greetings to the Container and Cocaine FC. Ghanaians will soon look back to the NPP to salvage them from this Bola government. Akufo-Addo and Bawumia did very well, but the NDC used lies and Takashi to come to power, and they shall surely fail, inshallah. Alright, this one is from Ose. He says, oh, my favorite man is on set again. My boss, thank God for your life, Mr. Paul Adumotre, the most authentic journalist of our time. And as Clinton says, history there, nobody comes close to Paul. His is definitely top notch. Emmanuel says, good evening, Apostle Paul. You have never read your message, or Emmanuel, we have today. I'm a fan of your great show, and today my team Arsenal has won 3-0 against Real Madrid. Yes, we're excited about that. Noah says, I am Noah Paul. I'm watching you live from Pusupu in the OT region, Ofosu. Ofosu Kwachio should resign. He has been exposed by Reverend Intim, and this tells you that there is no truth in the big grammar Kwachio is speaking. And they should tell us if the alleged drugs are to cushion the economy that they are struggling with, then so be it. Dennis says, Paul the historian, I love the way you definitely explain history. Jacob says, Oga Paul, much love, keep up with the good work, we are all behind you. And lastly from Osha, he says, hey, and this is on the comments on the young man who said he's part of the engine of the Jubilee House. He said, hey, just 4 months and he's the part of the engine of the Jubilee House. I want to see how the whole mechanics work. All right, over to you.
From Kwabna Dixon, he says, I'm reminding Mr. John Mahama and his guys that the power has an expiration date, so they should be careful. If you throw a stone towards a wall, it returns to you. From Charles Ose, he says, Reverend Intim Fodro is currently the man of the moment. He has exposed the propagandist Kwachio Fosu. Ghana under John Mahama has been a conduit for drug trafficking and money laundering. From Mashud, he says, Osofo is now changing the goalposts. Just go and assist the security to investigate your suspicions. From Kojo Efriye, he says, the issue is getting out of hand, confusion galore. From Lily Will, she says, Honorable Intim Fodro should be protected at all costs. And lastly, from George Ofori-Atta, he says, Paul, this man of God is delivering through the power of God. God bless him for his good work. From Ofori-Atta George in Sunyani. Over to you, Paul.
All right, so much for Good Evening Ghana. Tonight is 9 minutes past the top of the hour 11. Thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to come to you. Congratulations to Arsenal. 3-0 against Real Madrid at the Emirates Stadium. Next week, Arsenal will have to go to the Santiago Bernabeu and defend the 3-0. That shouldn't be very difficult. Arsenal should be able to defend the 3-0 and get an English club in the semi-finals of this year's Champions League. Congratulations to Arsenal, and especially to the best player on the night, Thomas Partey of the Black Stars. Thanks for watching. Good night.